Let's begin with our 3 Oms and the Gayatri Mantra. This morning we're going to be focusing on a process called ekagrata, and it is almost like the basic requirement if you are going to engage in any kind of sadhana. So this technique is a kind of a primary thing that we all have to learn. But before we go into it, I just want to go over the inner instrument, the Antakarana again, so that we can orientate ourselves as to why the ekagrata is so important. Okay? So if we go back to this diagram, we said that we have a lower mind made up of the thinking mind, the memory and the ego, and a higher mind which is the intellect or the buddhi. And each of these elements of the lower mind have a defect or a distortion. And it's what creates the problem of the mind being the barrier to experiencing our divinity. So we said for the thinking mind, it is the quality of vikshepa, it's wavering. For the aspect of the memory or manas, it is the stored impression or the vasana. And for the ego, it is the avarana, the veil that covers the buddhi as well. So in order for us to progress on the spiritual path, we have to first understand what sadhana is about. And we covered that in the last module. And so the purpose of sadhana is to remove the mind, bring it to an absolute steady state, and that then reveals the Atma. But remember, you don't have to try to become Atma, you are Atma. What has happened is that it's covered by this veil, which is the polluted or contaminated mind, right? So whenever the mind is distorted, then we use the word manas, right? Whenever the mind has been brought into stillness, then you experience it as pure consciousness that is called chitta. So all sadhana is basically chitta suddhi yoga. So chitta means consciousness, suddhi means to clean, yoga means to unite the awareness with that consciousness. Right? So in a sense, all our spiritual practices are about cleansing the consciousness, decontaminating it of whatever is there, and then maintaining it in a steady state so that you can constantly experience yourself as Atma. Okay, so the first principle then when we engage this training today is to the first principle is battery state. Okay, so the first principle is how do we bring the wavering mind under control? Because any sadhana that you engage in will give you a problem because your mind will start to drift away. Have you all noticed that at any stage? Yes? Okay, so you notice that your mind drifts away when you're engaging in any sadhana, right? So how many of you experienced that today during the bhajans? Bhajans are going on, you're supposed to be focusing on the bhajans and your mind is at home, thinking about the cooking, shopping, other things you've got to do, clean the car. Right? And that's the nature of the mind. It keeps wavering, it keeps wandering away. Alright, so you understand now that it's the wavering mind that gives you the stop-start kind of process that you experience when you are engaging in sadhana. In fact, it's not just in our sadhana. You'll find that in anything that you do, all the students here, anyone who's studying, you know why you can study for a short while and then suddenly your mind goes away. You can only sustain it for so long. And that is because the nature of the mind is that it's constantly moving, it's constantly looking for something that is happier, that is more fulfilling, that is more entertaining, that is more satisfying. Right? That's the nature of the mind. But Swami says that this mind that we have is like a monkey. Right? Keeps trying to do different things. But in that mode, it can never allow you to experience yourself as divinity. So to experience your atmic state, to experience yourself as divine, the mind has to be brought into an absolute steady state. Right? Now, in order to engage any sadhana, whether we choose Omkar, whether we choose Namasmarana, whether we choose the Gayatri Mantra, the ability to keep the mind steady and focused is the primary skill. Without doing that, you'll find that your sadhana is like quite ineffective. You do it, you stop, start. Some days you feel closer to Swami, some days you feel totally horrible. And that constant changing thing, coming from two things. One is the food, as we said this morning. The food dictates what's going to happen in your mind. You eat the wrong food, the mind will keep wobbling. You eat rajasic food, you'll have lots of thoughts, busy thoughts, stressful thoughts, worry. All of those things will happen. With tamasic foods, the mind goes dull. It's so sluggish that it's like it doesn't give you the opportunity to engage in anything properly. Only the sattvic mind can be brought into that stillness. Right? So your first sadhana is always change the food. You know that already. We've spent a whole session on that. How's that going, by the way? Good. Started. Sorry? Started, yeah? As long as you make a start. I mean, this is between you and Swami, you're not doing it for anyone else. So make sure you put your effort in slowly, change it, until you've got the best version that favors and suits you.